within the syndicate. Another entry requirement nowadays that we see in all the syndicates and cartels that we are working on, it's tenderpreneurship, which is becoming a prominent feature where members own multiple of companies registered both within and outside the borders of our country. These business links make it easier for the commodities that the cartel or syndicate are dealing with, also to be able to move across the globe. And also the tenderpreneurship allows for quick money laundering and also the procurement of government contracts illegally. It makes it easier also to do the money laundering. But the most important one that is very prominent in most of our syndicates and cartels in the country is the facilitation for the resources of crimes, more especially firearms, through the registration of private security companies, which then is an easiest route for you to get as much firearms as possible. We are always asking ourselves this question as to where are these firearms that are used in all these organized hits and CITs and all violent crimes coming from. Most of them are coming from that route, because you go there to a particular company for compliance inspection, you'll find that 6 of the firearms that were procured last month are reported missing 2 hours before you come in. So they are not missing, but it's because they cannot then be subjected to ballistic analysis, because they will be linked with those cases that you are investigating. And also the borrowing, unlawful borrowing and interchanging of those resources, it's something that happens. I'm touching on this because it's something that we can practically see, most of us in our communities, where the syndicates and cartels are operating.
Remember him? Yes, he is the one, James Scharnick, who borrowed Shadrach Sevilla, his bulletproof car. Do you remember? And how he came all out and did a media tour against Dumisani Khumalo, only to find out that somehow, somewhere, his criminal record just disappeared, poof, off the system. I don't know why, the SAP system that is, and therefore he doesn't have a criminal record, and therefore he's able to apply for a firearm and be granted for it. I don't know why his name, or should I say why he came up in my mind as Dumisani Khumalo, General Dumisani Khumalo, is breaking down just how this tenderpreneur dun is happening, and that they must register a security company. They have multiple businesses in the tenderpreneurship syndicate, and this is how money laundering happens. I'm not saying he's part of the money laundering gang. I'm just saying his story reminds me of General Dumisani Khumalo and how he was just so hot and heated under the collar of his colorful shirts. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, enough about James Scharnick. What I thought was interesting was when he said these security companies will have so many firearms because they're a security company, right? So they have the license to order firearms. And then now when you want to do an inspection, all of a sudden 6 of those firearms went missing 2 hours ago. And the reasons those firearms have got to disappear is because they cannot have them subjected to a ballistic examination, which therefore reminds me of Katiso Molefe and all those others who are the accused in Vusimuzi Ket Matlala, and that's how they were caught, because of ballistic expert analysis. Not by them Gulugutus in SAPs, because, the general said most of SAPs are criminals. Incredible, right? But anyway, we're not there. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let's continue listening to what else he puts on the table.
And the next one that I felt I need to touch on is the international reach and dual citizenship. I'm touching on those that will become relevant when I get to the actual events as they happened. It's one of the requirements of holding more than one citizenship in more than one country. That also allows the flexibility of movement, either of as a person or then of the commodity. We have seen most of our high-profile investigations as to how long it takes to get a person who have also a Swaziland citizenship. Sometimes, depending on the relations you might get, I'm just making an example with Swaziland, but then the citizenship of more than one country is very important for the cartels and syndicates to access also the international network and resources, also for the easier smuggling of the commodities that the syndicate is dealing with.
On this one, guess who comes to mind? Yes, Paul O'Sullivan with his 3 citizenships, which he declares in his book. You see, I keep telling you, the book is a template. I know if we buy the book, it's going to end up becoming a bestseller, but that's okay. I think it's okay. I think it's a fair trade just to literally read this blueprint. Anyway, the point I'm making is he literally spells it out that they have dual citizenships. Where is Paul now? Screaming and jumping up and down like a popcorn? As Honorable Nomvalo said about Honorable Souls, he is in London. That's why he's comfortable to say XYZ. No, I'm not coming to the ad hoc committee. Because he's in London and he's not a visitor. So he doesn't even have to leave. He has the citizenship. Another example I can use is the Ndimande brothers. Of course, they don't have a Swatini citizenship. They crossed over illegally, but when they got extradited, see how long it took for them to come back. But they're back now. And they are not necessarily roommates with Kat Matlala, but they are also permanent residents of Mbongweni for now. Let's continue listening on.
Then on the manner of actions as to how the operations are conducted. As I've indicated, that there must be lots of registered lawful companies.
Lots of registered lawful companies. We've seen this with Vusimuzi Kat Matala. He's got many registered companies. We've seen this with Jamie, mighty Jamie favorite, Hangwani Maumela. He also has many, a plethora of registered companies. And thanks to Jeff Wicks of News 24 and his thorough investigations. Listen, I don't know what Kat Matlala did to Jeff Wicks, but it's like Jeff Wicks has a bone to chew with Vusimuzi Kat Matlala since the blue light situation, investigating that and uncovers a whole plethora of things. Same thing as well. Vusimuzi Kat Matlala, multiple companies, some of the companies, the wife owns them. There's just a whole spiderweb situation, and they need that in order to move the money. I mean, we're talking billions of dollar Tenderpreneur industry, but I'm going to end this video right here. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Remember to like, to comment, to subscribe. Do you agree with his point on Tenderpreneurs? Are there honest Tenderpreneurs left? Let me know. Bye.